Hey guys, we are back with another DC Multiverse review, which means we're taking a look at another McFarlane figure, and this is one of the two figures that I have been most interested in just because he looks cool. And it's something that I don't know anything about. We're taking a look at the DC Multiverse HELLBAT Batman figure. So yeah, it's some sort of big demonic armor Batman. I don't know. Looks cool. Very interested in it as a figure. So we've got him here in the standard, slightly larger format packaging for the line. Figure there in the window. You've got a bunch of comic artwork paneling lining the back. Figure name on the side, DC Multiverse logo. And then the back of the package has some comic artwork showcasing this character design as well as a cross-sell for other stuff in this line so far. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Batman HELLBAT suit. So another thing that I don't know anything about when it comes to DC stuff. I did a little research. I've got a general idea of what's going on here. It's Batman in a big suit of armor to go into hell or some nonsense or something ridiculous. But it looks cool, and that's why I got it. There's some good stuff here. There's some not as good stuff here, but I would say based on just my personal opinions of this line so far, this guy and the Unchained Superman are easily the best thing McFarlane have put out just based on the amount of plastic and how cool they look. They still have some of the same kind of weird flaws going on though. So let's see how this guy moves around because there's some interesting stuff here. One little nuance that seems to bug the hell out of me. I'm not sure if it's going to happen on camera or not. We'll see. So the head is basically stuck in this position. I cannot get it to move at all. I've heated it up and it doesn't really seem to help because the neck seems to be just as thick as the base of the head. So it just returns right back to neutral whenever you try to do anything. You twist it far enough and it's going to get kind of stuck almost, and it looks really funny because the head is popping out the throat almost. So it's weird. That should not have been the same size really. I don't know. It's kind of odd. The shoulder pads here are articulated so they will swivel to help cover the joint. The arms go out at the shoulder. They rotate. You do have the wings to worry about if you want to keep them on the figure. There is a small butterfly joint. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's there. You've got a bicep swivel, and then the area that really annoys me is the elbows because, well, they work just fine, but 9 times out of 10, the ratchet joints are so tight that the kind of jostling of the figure pops the wings out, like it makes them fall out. It's probably not going to happen. Well, oh, there it did. So it didn't pop it all the way out, but well, maybe. So let's just take the damn things out. So here we go. Let's do it that way. So you've got those elbows, and they're about 90 degrees. They're heavily ratcheted, though. Heavily ratcheted. You've got rotation at the wrist with a ball hinge, so you've got pretty good range of motion, and then rotation. He's got a diaphragm cut, so he swivels back and forth, bobble side to side. He doesn't really go backwards, but he goes forward, and then you've got what seems to be a ball peg in the waist, so it allows him to crunch forward a little bit more and then tilt more, but then you have to worry about lining up those pieces. Legs go out all the way if you need your big giant mech suit Batman to do the splits. They kick forward about 90 degrees. They go backwards. They do have a thigh cut. Well, it's a thigh swivel, so you can swivel it. But what's weird is that it's actually swiveled in the hip. It's not swiveled where this line is, so you can swivel it there, but you should really just be able to swivel it right there. Kind of odd. You've got the double jointed knees, and these are more heavily ratcheted joints. They go back pretty far for such a big figure. Honestly, it's better than I expected. And then you've got rotation and rocker and hinge down at those ankles. It's a ball hinge, so more of that. And then you've also got some toe articulation as well. So this guy does move pretty well. I mean, there's not really anything wrong with it. It's out of the fact that I have some crazy stuff going on with those elbows. I don't know if that's just me or not, but it always seems to want to do that. It'll just hit it so hard that it pops those wings out. Is it a big problem? Not really, but it is a thing. What this guy is all about for me, though, undoubtedly, is the look. And again, I'm not all that familiar with it. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't know a lot about the source material, but I think it looks fantastic. It does seem to deviate a little bit from some of the source material. You know, maybe this isn't how it always looks, or maybe it's just one of those artistic interpretations that have been done and it's a specific take on this suit, but he doesn't even look like the back of the box either. There's a few things that are a little bit different. Does it bother me? Absolutely not, because this thing looks really cool. So he is quite large. You know, he's bigger than the regular figures. He's about 8 inches tall. So just to give you an idea, here he is next to, or well, right with the regular Batman. So there's a little bit more height to him, and then there's a lot more bulk to him as well, just in a general amount of plastic. There is a cool factor here that is kind of unrivaled when it comes to this line, except for maybe the Superman. I just really like this design. It very much gives you a huge mech, suit of armor look and feel. I mean, the figure is beefy, he's bulky, he's got these crazy shoulder pads on him, monster Batman gauntlets that are, of course, done up in what looks to be, you know, very metal design. He's got these crazy claw hands. So you've got a gripping hand out here on his left, and you've got this weird hand on his right, though. It's not a fist, but it's not a gripping hand either, because, well, it is sort of, but he's not. It's almost like he's like looking at someone trying to crush their head or something from a distance. I don't know what's going on there, but it's almost a fist, so that's just kind of an odd decision. It should have been one, probably. I really like the color designs here. It gives me a very Batman Beyond feel, really, the red and the black. The bat emblem is really nicely done. All the lines are pretty clean. There's a little bit of splotchiness here and there. I like the gunmetal color for the knee pads and then for the gauntlets as well. And the head is, I mean, it's a very futuristic, very armor, very techno-style Batman. It makes me think of like some of those old Kenner Legends of the Dark Knight Batman figures from the 90s. That was my jam as a kid. So there's just a lot of cool stuff going on here. Outside of the fact that I don't care about this idea, really, it's cool. It's really cool, and that's really all it comes down to. He's a big, bulky, beefy figure. It's kind of what I'm into in a lot of respects. What I really maybe don't like as much is the cape wing situation, and that's really what this is supposed to be. I believe it's supposed to be a cape wing type of thing. So you've got these big monster wings here that pop out, and they make that. So you've got basically just a tremendous wingspan on this guy, and it's okay. There's some weirdness going on with this plastic. I don't know if it's going to come through really well, but it's really splotchy. It's not fingerprints or anything like that. It's like smudges on the plastic, or what's happening to the plastic itself, and they just pop out and pop back in. They stay pretty well, except for when I seem to be articulating the arms, and then they fold in like this, and they kind of make a bat symbol on his back, which I think is kind of cool. But on like the reference artwork that I've seen, especially on the back of the box, it seems to be more of just a regular cape. So I don't know. This could be one of the things. I think I'd rather him have just a big monster cape, like a Spawn cape almost, than this. But they do look pretty cool no matter what. Now, as far as accessories goes, well, there's none. This guy doesn't have any. I'm not sure he needs any. I don't know. Don't care. He doesn't necessarily need any for my purposes, but he does come with the standard stuff that comes with this line. So you've got a little stand, a display base here with the DC logo emblazoned on it. You don't really need this. If he's fallen over, then you need to reevaluate your posing, because he's so heavy he should stand up just fine. And then he does come with the trading card. And this is kind of what I've been using for, reference artwork. He looks really similar, but at the same time he doesn't look exactly the same. He doesn't have the gauntlets in this picture, and he has more of an actual cape than big mechanical wings. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not a real big deal. And then you've got like the data file, bio stuff on the back. I like these. I don't need them. It's kind of a 90s throwback thing for me. It very much seems like something that you would have gotten in the 90s. Well, we did get this kind of stuff in the 90s. So no real accessories, but he's got some extras. So overall, this is a pretty solid figure. There's not really too much to be negative about here outside of a few little nitpicky things on this guy. The head on my figure does not really move all that well, and he has some really, really hefty ratchet joints in those elbows that 9 times out of 10 knock the wings out of my figure. Otherwise, though, he does move pretty well for such a large figure. He looks really cool. The design on its own is great, even though it doesn't necessarily line up with a lot of the artwork I'm seeing, but it looks really cool no matter what. That's largely irrelevant to me. So yeah, I mean, a big armored mech Batman figure, there's really not much you could do to stop me from buying this thing. Along with the Superman figure, they were easily the two that I knew I had to have out of this first initial assortment from McFarlane. And I'd say for $20, they pretty well did a solid job here. So that's going to do it for this look at the Batman HELLBAT armor. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.